Everybody, welcome back to my kitchen. Today we are going to make a cake. More specifically, I'm going to bring Jack back. Y'all like Jack. I don't know what it is about Jack, but y'all love when I bring Jack into the kitchen. I like when I bring Jack into the kitchen. So this is my Tennessee whiskey pecan cake. It's a very simple cake recipe. It's actually an old Southern pecan cake recipe. I just changed it up a little bit, put a little bit of this Jack Daniel's Tennessee honey in it, and I just think it ups the flavor a little bit. You don't have to, but why not? So, you know what? Everybody always asks me, you're in the kitchen, you're cooking with Jack, but we never see you drinking Jack. Let me get me a glass. So I'm gonna have some Jack while we're making this recipe. This is my frozen ice cube. You put regular ice cube in here, it just waters down the whiskey. So I got these. Just a little bit. So cheers to our cake. Sorry, I needed another one. We're just gonna put Jack, well, let's put Jack right there. We don't want him too far. Now this is basically a dump cake. You just dump everything in the bowl and you mix it together. So I've got baking powder, I've got vanilla, I've got vegetable oil, I have 4 eggs, I have 2 cups of crushed pecans. I ran them through the food processor just to get them nice and small. We're gonna use some sugar, Jack of course, some flour, and brown sugar. So first I'm gonna put the sugar in, and we're gonna need a cup of each white sugar and brown sugar. Get that in there. Might be more fun cooking without drinking Jack. Let me get the sugar out the way. Now, like I said, you don't have to put the whiskey in there. You can leave it out. And what it actually calls for is a cup of vegetable oil. I've got mine just between 3/4 of a cup and a cup because I'm going to add in the Jack Daniels to it. So if you're doing this without the Jack Daniels, you're only going to use just one. You'll use an entire cup of vegetable oil. So let me get, actually we want the other brown sugar next. Let me get this out. And we're going to use 1 cup of brown sugar packed, where my hands are clean. There you go. I'm going to rinse my hands off because it's got brown sugar all over them. Now we're going to add to the sugar 4 eggs. And this is where some of you are cringing out there going, Greg, break them in a bowl. I know. And that's not a dirty egg. As I told you, I just crushed these pecans when I opened up. Some of the, I call it pecan dust, floated around and got on my eggs, which I've had sitting on the counter for about 45 minutes to an hour. I wanted them at room temperature, so you can see they got a little wet, humidity in the air from the cold eggs. So let me get a whisk. Maybe not a whisk. Let's use a wooden spoon so it's not as loud. So I'm gonna break up those eggs and just incorporate those sugars and the eggs. So it's all come together. I think I have a couple crunches of brown sugar in there that are broken up. I like these simple cakes like this, no frosting. They have so much flavor. I mean, there's enough flavor in the cake itself that you do not need a frosting. It's almost like a brownie. You got a piece of brown sugar in there. It's kind of lumpy. There we go. Okay. To this, I'm going to add our oil. And I told you I was going to put about a 1/4 cup of Jack in here. And we'll put a little sip of Jack in me. This may make a really good cooking show. I cannot guarantee anything I say after this. Just kidding. Okay, so let's mix this up real well. Okay, and we're gonna put about a teaspoon of vanilla. Mom called the other day asking me where I get my vanilla beans and make my own vanilla because she's going to. She said she just about had a stroke when she went to the store to buy vanilla extract. The prices are going crazy on everything. So I kind of actually had second thoughts about making a pecan cake, because these pecans, there's the oven, these pecans are expensive, but they're worth it in this cake. So the oven is preheated to 350 degrees. Let's bring this all together. Now we're going to, hold on, let me grab something. Okay, so we're going to use 1.5 cups of flour. I'm just fluffing it up, zhuzhing it around a little bit. Get my knife out of here. There we go. There's 1 cup, and looks like about a half. Let me get this out. We're going to use, now this isn't self-rising, it's all-purpose. So I'm going to put 2¼ teaspoons, and where's my teaspoon? 2¼ teaspoons of baking powder. And 1/4 teaspoon. This stuff does not want to cooperate. Okay, so there's 2¼ teaspoons of baking powder, and I'm going to put 1/2 teaspoon. Sorry, Jack, I need in there. 1/2 teaspoon of salt. Now, if you were using self-rising flour, you would not have needed to put this baking powder and the salt in there. It's already in the self-rising. So now let's bring that together. I've already got a 9x13, might be just a little bit smaller than 9x13, but about a 9x13 baking dish here. And it's already pre-greased. Actually, it's spray oil, has flour in it. You probably wouldn't need to do that to this pan because this has got a cup of oil in it. That oil is going to make this cake very moist, and it's not going to be sticking. All right. Get all that off the sides. And now we're going to put our 2 cups of pecans in there. Get rid of some of this. All right. And let's just bring that together, get those pecans mixed in there. This is almost like a blondie, a pecan blondie, instead of a brownie. But either way, this is delicious. Okay, I'll bring my pan over here. I'm going to get a spatula because we don't want to waste any of this. And just pour this evenly throughout the pan. And we're going to bake it, like I said, in a 350-degree oven. And it's going to be about 30-35 minutes. Start checking at about 25 minutes. Like you all know, everyone's oven's different depending on temperature and humidity. That even affects baking. So I start checking about 10 minutes before it's done, or supposed to be done. And then I know I got it right. All right, all gone. And for those of you that got upset that I didn't crack my eggs in a separate bowl, we're gonna have a fit that I'm tasting cake with raw egg in it. All right. Oh my gosh, that was good. All right, so I'm gonna put this in the oven at 350 degrees. Bring you back in about 30-35 minutes. It's gonna be about a second for you, not even a second, half second, just like that. We'll be back. All right, everybody, we're back. I told you it'd just be a second. I took the cake out. It actually did bake for exactly 30 minutes, and I just stuck a toothpick in. You probably see a little hole there, and just made sure it came out kind of clean. It did have a little moisture on it, but that's okay. This is going to be a really moist cake. I let it sit here for about 10 minutes. It was a little bit more flat and domed, but as it cools, it does sink down a little bit. So let me get a piece out here. I was actually thinking while it was cooling, it'd probably been good with some apples in it. Put a couple apple chunks in there. I like to use a nice sharp paring knife to cut the cake. Just makes it a little bit easier to get out. Now, as you know, Mom can get everything out on the first try. I always struggle. I'm going to cheat. And put this under there. Ah. There we go. Oh my gosh, I think I got it. Here we go. Oh, that smells delicious. I can smell the brown sugar. Brown sugar is what made it like brown and so beautiful on top. But the brown sugar and the pecans in here. I'm just gonna start with these little crumbs. I'm not gonna waste them. That pecan there. This is so delicious. It's so simple. I mean, some of these cakes that you put all these frostings and they're just too sweet. This has just the right amount of sweetness, maybe a little bit more because it's got 2 cups of sugar, 1 white, 1 brown, but it is delicious. Give this one a try. I would put some ice cream on top, maybe some caramel syrup, even a little ice cream with some apple butter or applesauce on it. That'd be good too. Give this one a try. It's my Tennessee whiskey pecan cake. You don't have to put the Tennessee whiskey in. Just make it a full cup of vegetable oil instead of 3/4 of a cup and 1/4 of a cup of the whiskey. Just increase it all. I'll put both of them down below so y'all can decide if you want to put the whiskey or not. I can taste the whiskey in it. Tastes great. Probably evaporated most of the alcohol off, but still tastes great. So don't forget to hit the like button, the subscribe. Also the bell right to the right of subscribe. If you click on that, it's going to let you know each time I put out a video so you don't miss it. So don't forget to share the videos with everybody. Love y'all and God bless. Take care. Bye-bye.